Good day, everybody. My name is Kevin Hogan. I'm the author of The Science of Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, 21 other books that have been translated into 43 languages all around the world. Thank you for making that happen. We appreciate the demand that's been out there for now almost 2 decades. Kind of cool, so thank you very much. I'll think about it. I hate I'll think about it. You know this. I might have even talked about it on video once or twice with you. And there's many ways to deal with I'll think about it, many. But I want to give you sort of the deep roots of how to deal with I'll think about it. So if you forget every other tool I've ever shown you about influence and persuasion, you can always do this. You can always do this. So somebody says, Kev, I'll think about it. The first thing I need to do is realize that I was not compelling enough. I did not get into their belief structure and push enough buttons, make the tumblers fold down and open the door. Okay, that's fine, okay? Because any change from the status quo, any change at all is a survival issue. And so when the person's saying, I'll think about it, really what they're saying to you is, I'm really fearful of this, and I don't feel comfortable doing this. This is way out of my comfort zone. You have a survival issue. This is not them trying to BS you or put you off or anything like this. It's a fear. Now, there's only a couple of fears. One of the fears is of you yourself looking at yourself as having made a bad decision, doing something stupid, being screwed over, being taken advantage of. The other is the Rolodex of people in your mind. All of the people in your mind that you look to, your community, all the people in the neighborhood who you say don't matter in your decision-making process, and yet you do everything based upon whatever they would think and say, right? You buy the same cars that they have, same colors, same types. So we all have SUVs in this neighborhood. You can't get out of this neighborhood without seeing a monster vehicle. Any change from the status quo is a survival issue. You must address the survival issue. In the case of the SUV, you say, hey, Kev, you know what? You don't have to have an SUV. Sure, everybody else has it, but if people see you driving around that new Audi over there, you know, that's a pretty doggone good vehicle. It has actually a uniqueness and a flair to it that the SUV just doesn't have. Yeah, the SUV is great. Your SUV, that Sequoia, is amazing. But hey, the fact of the matter is, you've seen people in the Audi, right? Now, I've already determined one of their drivers was status, right? So now they're hitting the status button saying, hey, you know what? When you see somebody in an Audi, you know you're looking at someone special, right? Like that. Now, this is when people say I'll think about it, it's the exact opposite is what I normally share with you in communicating with others to get to yes. Now, instead of emotion, instead of dealing with the reptile, we have to get people out of the emotion and out of the reptile, because the emotion in the reptile, the fear system in the brain, and now we have to get that addressed. We talked about the status affiliation this time. You know that's one of my drivers supposedly, right? And so he said, hey, you know what? People are going to be pretty impressed when they see that you're driving this vehicle around and not the same as everybody else. But that's only if their opinion matters. It comes from their Rolodex. That's the second piece. So you have to get them to have conscious determination. That's logic. That's pure logic. Whatever their drivers are, you have to appeal to them in a logical fashion. It has to make sense. That's why they said, I'll think about it. Their brain said, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm terrified, and I'm now saying words. I'll think about it, which no one does. Nobody ever thinks about it, right? Now what we do is we've addressed it, the issue. We now have no longer got a survival issue. We now have people looking at you, not thinking, oh, you're stupid, but thinking, hey, that Kevin Hogan's a pretty sharp guy over there. He picked the Audi. Nobody has one of those. That's awesome. That's hitting that status button. There's 15 other buttons that we could be hitting, right? 15 of them. There's curiosity, there's sex, there's food, there's nesting, there's belonging, a number of others, right? And we've talked about them all many times. So you're hitting one driver. That's it. And we're going to get a small yes. I mean, Kev, face it. Don't you really want to be the person who's the trendsetter instead of the trend follower in the neighborhood? Now, I'm saying this in a way that I would never say it in a real conversation. In a real conversation, I would basically simply say, hey, do you really want to be the guy who follows everybody else in the neighborhood, or do you want to be the guy who is going to be the leader? I mean, it's really your choice. You can do anything you want. I don't care. It's not important to me. Whatever you do is whatever you do is whatever you do. That's how I would normally communicate it. It's much more comfortable for me. How you communicate it is part of your communication style. The way I do it is very clean, smooth, comfortable. It's easy to deal with, and people have no resistance towards the message, which is one of the reasons it's nice to do. But remember, I'll think about it comes down to a logical response on your part has to come. It has to be that conscious determination, because this is against a belief. I've had an SUV forever. I've had a Ford forever. And then you have to get the pressure in the Rolodex inside of you. You have to have all of those people in the Rolodex, your friends, your family, but also the people that you think you don't really care about their opinion, and you think about them all the time. The neighbors, the people in the community, the people at the church, the people at the office. What do they think when they see you get out of the car? And finally, you have to get a small yes. Say, don't you think it would make sense if you were the trendsetter? I mean, duh, right? Yeah, I guess it would. I mean, now that I think about it, that's what we're looking for right there, that small little yes. And once you have the small little yes, that incredibly tiny little hole is right here, has now been opened. And now that the hole is opened, it can be moved into. The eye of the needle can now be threaded. Cool? Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you here next time.